Good evening, I'm Katerina Georgieva. Thanks for joining us. We begin in Wheatley tonight, 1 year after the blast that rocked its core. The community is recovering, continuing to pick up the pieces. You're looking at that aftermath of that explosive moment. And 1 year ago today, sections of the core are still blocked off to this day. Some residents worry it may never be safe to return, unsure if their houses will ever be home again, left wondering, what now? There were warning signs. June 2nd, 2021, the owner of a hotel noticed a rotten egg-like odor and something bubbling from a basement drain. A state of emergency forced 27 people out of their homes. It closed several businesses. June 19th, the evacuation order is narrowed. 2 properties remain empty. Everyone else returns. A month later, monitors detect hydrogen sulfide again. Another state of emergency forces 52 people out of their homes. Later that month, everyone returns except for one property on Erie Street. On August 26th,
we heard a boom and the whole house shook. And I came outside and I talked to my neighbors and they're like, Wheatley just blew up. I just really hope that nobody died.
And thankfully, no one did die, but there were injuries, and the impact on the community has been profound. CBC's Jacob Barker joins us now live from Wheatley. Jacob, what are you seeing and what are you hearing 1 year later?
Well, as you can see, Kat, there is a very large and constant reminder right here in the middle of Wheatley every day that people have to pass. And what I'm hearing from people is that they have a lot of the same questions that today that they had in the aftermath of the blast. Not a lot has changed. The province is still here trying to make things safe, the municipality as well. But for those on the outside looking in, the wait for things to return to normal has been excruciating. It's been 365 days since this. A massive explosion, the chaotic scene that ensued, a trauma on the community, a miracle that no one was killed, but 20 were injured, buildings were destroyed, and the safety of the town center left in question. Work is underway to plug the last of 3 wells found in the area. That's coming at a cost of nearly $20 million split between the municipality and the province, but the scar is still visible. Well, there are bits of the downtown center that have reopened, but things have hardly returned to normal. A total of 37 households remain displaced and 21 businesses are still closed, and there's still no timeline that's been given for their return. Barry Broadbent and fire crews were scrambling to recover some stock from his shop in the aftermath of the explosion. Today, his restaurant of 35 years remains fenced off.
There was no timeline, and there still is no timeline. It's the fear of the unknown.
He's been getting by catering events, but still, it's a fraction of the business he did before the explosion. Not only has his staff moved on to other jobs, the cost of business is higher, and his proximity to the blast site has him afraid about his future in this area of Wheatley.
There's been no guarantees, very little communication regarding the promises, so I think it's going to be really tough to convince the consumer or the residents or the business people in Leaminton or Wheatley in order to convince them that yeah, it's safe to go back.
To make matters worse, his business interruption insurance expires 1 year from the blast. That's today. He's on his own now, facing an uncertain future.
All the expenses are gonna have to be incurred by myself.
While the explosion is thought to have been caused by an abandoned gas well, no conclusive answer has ever been given about the cause or the source. The sign for Paul de Gooey's newly built hotel is still very prominent. It was right beside the Pogue pub, which was devastated by the blast. He expects the damage to his establishment to be extensive. Insurance adjusters have still not been allowed in to assess the damage, making it impossible to make any sort of plan.
Like, where does the municipality see Wheatley? I mean, where are we going? I mean, people have goals they want to set, but I mean, they can't do that without a vision. Like, where are we going to be in 6 months from now? What's the plan? Like, what do they want to see?
He, like Broadbent, is concerned about the future safety and viability of the town center.
I'm in the hotel business. Would you want to stay at a hotel in Wheatley that's exploded? It's $1 million question, right?
Well, they've even put flowers out to spruce up the part of the town center that's open right now, but there will likely still be safety concerns in this area even after the work is done, and that has some looking at other options. The Wheatley Task Force is looking at strategies for the town moving forward, including moving the town center elsewhere.
Most of us are seeing that this is, could present some positive opportunities to reshape the town. And that's really what we're really living off of, is that optimism that there will be a better future ahead.
And residents are trying to get their lives together, but the hurdles are many. Heidi Allison is living with her mother's friend in Leamington. Her insurance company only covered a fraction of her costs, below expectations.
I just feel like my whole life has been turned upside down and I have no control of it.
The 62-year-old has been told she can't return to her apartment. She says she was planning to retire, but now that's been put off.
This wasn't my fault, and I've just left in limbo of like, well, okay, off you go, with no compensation of, helping you to try to find something that you can at least say, okay, this is, going to be my place of my own.
I don't know, it was full of sewage.
Right, well, now we're emptied.
Back in April, the Lambs were seeking to get some work done.
That's where we got
Our cameras caught 61 centimeters of sewage being pumped out of the basement. But today, their house remains empty.
And we still have lots of mold, still evident.
The work ground to a halt, waiting for the insurance company to quote all the needed jobs. Months have passed, and the steep bill to make this house livable again has left the couple stuck. What do you think, and how do you feel being in here right now without actually being able to live in here?
It hurts. It'll be home again one day. We just want to come home so bad. We want to be with our neighbors. We want to be with our friends, and this was home. We'll make it another home.
It's really hard to hear how painful this still is for so many people. And Jacob, you've been covering this story since the very beginning. How have you been reflecting on all this?
Katerina, it's not a few times that I've driven out here from Windsor and driven up to this very corner, and I have seen things change. I've seen fences move in. People being able to return to their businesses and their homes, whether they choose to or can or not. But it is that idea of people looking for answers, asking questions, and not really getting answers is a very real thing. It is for us as well. I know I asked the question of the fire marshal today about the cause and the origin of the blast, and the answer I got back was that there was a completed investigation. It has gone to peer review, but there was nothing about what those conclusions were. So we're left looking for answers. They're left looking for answers. And today is a little bit about reflection in the community. There is an event going on the other side of town right now. They're gathering at a park. Organizers say it's for people to heal and for people to feel like a community again. And that's what they think is one of the most important things, at least on the 1-year anniversary. Tomorrow, we can get back to asking those questions and trying to get answers.
Really appreciate all of your coverage on this story, Jacob. That's CBC's Jacob Barker live in Wheatley tonight. And as we take in the personal stories out of Wheatley, some are calling for action. Folks in Leaminton and Chatham-Kent want the provincial and federal governments to do something about orphaned gas wells in Ontario. As Dale Molnar reports, right now the onus can be put on a property owner, even if they weren't aware they even had one.
We as taxpayers should be lobbying our provincial representatives to change this act to put that onus away from the landowner and back to the province.
Whether it's a gas well, an oil well, or water well, experts at this meeting say all could leak the highly toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. Landowner responsibility was one of the big takeaways from the meeting on gas wells last night. But many of the people also want the federal government to give money to the province to help clean up an estimated 6,000 orphan wells that may leak someday. It's something David Cockerham's been dealing with since 2016.
The amount coming out of that is the equivalent of a pilot light.
Hydrogen sulfide gas seeps out of a historic water well on Cockerham's Leaminton property. When we spoke to him last year, he was faced with a possible $900,000 bill to plug the well because the province won't pay for it.
You'll recall the federal government did provide funds to Western orphan wells. The Ontario Petroleum Institute also wrote to the federal government, and that was a request I supported in the House, if you'll check the Hansard last year. So that is a question that's open.
EPA made available a petition for people to sign calling on the feds and the province to establish an orphan well program. The owner of several wells in the area is on board.
Our company, as well as many others, have the capability and expertise and are very willing to help if the funding is available for us.
Right now, the message to landowners is to report any telltale signs of a gas leak, but many are hesitant to do that if they're stuck with the cleanup bill.
It might prevent some people from actually declaring they've got a gas leak.
When it comes to changing legislation, an assistant deputy minister for the Ontario Natural Resources Ministry told the crowd it could happen.
We'll share the comments that the crowd has shared with us tonight back with our policymakers and go from there.
CBC News has also reached out to the federal government for a response. Dale Molnar, CBC News, Leamington.
To other news now, a key group of independent experts in the province's response to the ongoing pandemic will be dissolved. Ontario's COVID-19 Science Advisory Table and all of its working groups will be disbanded next month. The table says it was informed by Public Health Ontario at a meeting last week. As Talia Ricci reports, it's unclear what comes next.
Reflecting on the last 2 years, the recently appointed head of Ontario's COVID-19 Science Advisory Table is proud of what they accomplished, from the collection and analysis of COVID data to the guidance it offered decision makers.
Whether it was the need to prioritize vaccinations in high-risk groups like lower-income neighborhoods or among the elderly, whether it was the need to think about how to protect our long-term care sector, I believe that the work that we've produced has helped our response in a very difficult time.
Frontline doctors say they've relied on the table's work since it was formed in July 2020.
I think that they were extremely helpful.
From an ICU perspective, it helped us understand what we needed to prepare for.
The table says it was informed by Public Health Ontario that it would be disbanded as of September 6th. Ontario's premier said the work of the group will continue.
We aren't dissolving it. We're actually transferring it over to Public Health.
A statement from Public Health Ontario suggests it's looking at forming a new group. It says it's been engaged in discussions with Science Table members throughout the process. Doctors say they still want the guidance the table provided, especially as hospitals grapple with staff shortages.
COVID isn't over just yet. We still have a high burden of illness within the hospital.
We're in a major human resource crisis in our healthcare system. To enter the fall with a potential surge and be fine without the scientific table's insight, I think, makes people nervous.
At its peak, the Science Table's core membership included more than 40 health professionals and scientists with a broad range of expertise. Public Health Ontario says it will have more information to share next week. Dr. Fahad Razak will be watching.
We're at a very high-risk point in the pandemic, and we've had many difficult stretches. Unfortunately, this is one of them.
Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
Municipal elections are less than 2 months away, and we want to know what will get your vote. So to do that, we sent Windsor Morning host Nav Nanwa to the Walkerville Night Market, and Nav joins me now live. Nav, looks like you're having a good time. You're smiling. How's it going out there?
Kat, it's a great time out here. We're at the Walkerville Night Market. We're talking to Windsorites about what's on their mind for the upcoming municipal election. We have our little whiteboard here. We're asking them what matters to you during this municipal election. And I've been getting some great responses. A lot of people have transit on their mind, especially when it comes to public transit and wanting to see less delays, wanting to see cheaper fares. A lot of people have been also talking about street limits or speed limits here on streets, especially here in Walkerville. I had one person speak to me about how the speed in this area needs to be addressed, and whoever the councillor is that gets chosen better have a plan for it.
Thanks so much for this, Nav. That's Windsor Mornings, Nav Nama at the Walkerville Night Market. And Nav, it looks like you're having such a good time. I'm going to join you after the show. I'll be there. I'll come find you.
Yeah, we can't wait. We can't wait.
Sounds good. Thanks for this. With that, we take a live look outside there. It is gearing up to be a gorgeous weekend, but soak it up while you can because there is rain ahead next week. Your weather coming right up. It is International Dog Day, a day that honors humankind's very best friend. So to mark this special day, we thought we here at CBC Windsor would share some of our favorite pups with you. This here is my family's two pups, Ade and Max. They're besties. Kelby, that's from the Ensing clan. Pepper here, that's TJ's pup. Emmy, that's Stacy Janzer's baby. Also from the Janzer clan, Echo and Jackson. We also have Sweet Bevy, that's Chad and Carrie's pup. And then from Darren, this is Gigi. From Jacob Barker, we've got Louie. We also wanted to hear about how you're celebrating this day, so our video producer, Mike Evans, chatted with some of you and your furry friends.
My dog is a Pomsky, part Pomeranian, part Husky. He's very smart Hi.
Will you do anything special for him today on International Dog Day?
Oh, probably give him some chicken. He loves chicken. Chicken is his favorite. Yes.
This is Archie. He is half lab, half Australian Shepherd. We like to come down here sometimes to go for jogs, but now that I just learned it's National Dog Day, I will definitely be getting him a little treat later today.
And when it comes to him, what kind of treats do you get him?
He loves ice cream, anything meaty. He is a little picky eater, but actually he did have some pie for breakfast today, so there you go, right, buddy?
So today's International Dog Day. What are you doing to celebrate your dog? And tell me about your dog.
Well, this is Ziggy, and he's a husky bloodhound. He talks a lot. He's a very good boy. He's definitely getting a good trip to the pet store to get a treat later because it's International Dog Day. I didn't know that.
What kind of treats do you get him?
He picks his own. Like the funniest thing is that he picks the ones good for his teeth. The dentist sticks. He like goes in there. He's like, this is the one I want.
What are some popular sellers here?
Here, my cookies are the most popular is the peanut butter or the cheesy bacon. Generally, anything with peanut butter goes awesome with the dogs. In summer, I do sell a lot of doggy ice cream, and then we also have the cupcakes for dogs that people like to treat their dogs with.
And those cupcakes, they're not called cupcakes. Tell us what they're called.
I call them pupcakes.
What would you say is the most eclectic item that you sell here that somebody might want to buy for their dog? Something to eat.
Something to eat, it would be the bully sticks. These are the most unique here, I guess. They're everywhere, but that's the most unique that I have here.
Now tell me about them.
They are a specific part of a bowl, and the doggies love to chew them.
Okay, I don't think we need to go into any more specifics. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes, and it's very popular with the dogs.
It's time now for our weather update, and for that we've got Matt Hamill joining us. Matt, a bit of a gray day today, but it's looking like a promising weekend though.
It's a fabulous looking weekend, but you're right, it has been great today. That's kind of been the story. It seems like for the past 2 weeks almost, just lots of stormy weather. Now the weekend, yes, giving us some nice relief, and that's a big product of this high pressure moving through, clearing out all those clouds. Enjoy the weekend. It's going to be pretty comfortable as well. Saturday, not looking too humid and not looking too hot. Just enjoy that sun. Heading into Sunday morning, a bit of cloud cover, but still mostly sunny skies. But maybe some more clouds coming into the picture for Monday, maybe even some more storms. We'll talk about that in a moment. Tonight, already seeing those skies clear out. That's teeing us up for a fabulous looking Saturday. You see some of those seasonal to slightly above seasonal temperatures building in as well, but really not a cloud to be found in southwestern Ontario. I guess that's good news if you're looking to get out in the sun. Even warmer temperatures building in for Sunday. Look at Windsor, we're getting up to 30 degrees. Other communities also nearing 30 with their temperatures. Now, slightly different story for early next week, but the moisture would be welcome. This is kind of what we've seen over the past few months is well below the average monthly precipitation. It's almost our fourth straight month of these lower than average precipitation totals. So maybe some of this Monday storm activity moving through might bring some beneficial rains. Quite dry in southern Ontario. Now there is a bit of a storm risk as well with what we're seeing for Monday, but we're not expecting a washout necessarily. Still some sunshine poking through there, but yes, potentially that gray situation returning. Now this is more of our long-term precipitation forecast heading into Monday, starting to see some moisture come into parts of southern Ontario. Heading into Monday evening to Tuesday, looks like we could see very wet conditions building in. So possibly Tuesday looking even wetter than our Monday. As far as wind speeds go over the next few days, not a whole lot to write home about, so not going to spoil our weekend. It's going to be sunny, not too hot, not too windy either. But as we head into Sunday evening into Monday, possibly a bit of a breeze, especially for Michigan. Let's take a look now at our 7-day forecast for Windsor. As we know, really looking great for the weekend. 25 feeling like 28. For our Sunday, 30 degrees, so starting to warm up with the humidex feeling like 37. That kind of humidity, something that's going to punctuate not just our Sunday, but our Monday and Tuesday as well. Feeling like 39 on Monday with some of that stormier weather. For Tuesday, feeling like 36. And as far as Wednesday goes, 27, feeling like 33. So a little bit unsettled weather early in the week, possibly a return to some nice sunny skies. So a bit up and down in our forecast, but a good weekend to enjoy.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Now, if you thought that we were out of dog pics, you were wrong. We've got more thanks to some of our viewers. Thank you so much to all of you who sent in your pups and sharing your love with us. I did try to squeeze in as many as possible. If you don't see your pup here, you should check out our web story at cbc.ca/Windsor. Happy International Dog Day. And after the break, we will check back in with Nav Nanwa at the night market. Welcome back. We are about to go back live to the Walkerville Night Market. That is where the Windsor Morning host Nav Nanwa is going to join me. Nav, you are there. You've been asking people about municipal issues that are important to them for this upcoming election. So talk us through a little bit about what people are telling you.
Yeah, actually, Kat, we've been having some great conversations here with Windsorites. Obviously, the municipal election is just under 2 months away now. And we've been asking Windsorites here, what are the issues that are top of mind as they think about candidates and they think about hitting the polls again in about 2 months? And some of the common things that keep coming up is roads, especially road safety. We talked to a person who lives in Walkerville, just in this area, and she was complaining about the fact that, you know, the speed limits here are quite low, but people do speed a lot. and she feels like more needs to be done at a municipal level to control the speed limits and to put more in place for that. I spoke to somebody else who wants more done when it comes to public transit. They want more routes. They want fares to be cheaper. They want people to be more encouraged to take public transit or alternate means of transit. He's a biker and he wants more bike lanes. And then there's also people that want more money for small businesses. You know, someone brought up a good point saying even though things are open again, businesses are still looking for relief, still looking for support, and they love for that to come at a local level.
And now let's just remind people where they can find you and how long you're going to be there tonight.
So we are here until 8 p.m. Kat, I know you'll be joining us in just a few moments after CBC News Windsor at 6. And we look forward to seeing everybody here. We're right in the middle.
Sounds good. Walkerville Night Market, we'll be there till 8, and I'm going to join you in about 15 minutes. Thanks, Nav. That is it for CBC Windsor News. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.